East and tied for the 8th best odds to win the Super Bowl. That's according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. Skip, you've been trying to downplay the Cowboys Super Bowl chances. Certainly they haven't done a whole lot in this offseason. We're going to let you go first here. No one better to answer this than you. What one development could you see actually propelling them into the big game at the end of this season?
Shannon Sharp, I have tried, as you will attest, to downplay their chances going into next year so that I don't ratchet up pressure on poor Dak Prescott and poor Ezekiel Elliott and potentially jinx their chances as I did, I believe, a year ago. But I will play along with one concept, one development that could happen that could be the rising tide that lifts all their boats. And I will remind you that last year they did have some boats in the water because they were number one in points scored. They were number one in yards gained. They were number one graded by Pro Football Focus as an offense. That's all pretty good, right? Number one on defense in takeaways, which propelled them, shot them up to tied for first in turnover differential, which is always a key and deciding statistic in your game of professional football. Am I right? So, what one development could propel? Well, there's one and only one, and that is 11 from heaven. That is Micah Parsons. What if Micah Parsons suddenly vaults up a whole nother level into Lawrence Taylor territory? What if all of a sudden they do let him rush the passer, which I've been pounding the table for them to let him do? He's much bigger than you think. In fact, our man Lil Wayne had him out here to meet with him and hang out with him out here in Southern California. First thing Wayne told me about Micah Parsons, he's huge. He's just a much bigger man than you think. And we saw him at the Pro Bowl run the 40, and I know it was kind of a jokey, silly 40.
But he outran Nick Chubb. Tyreek won series, but he outran Nick Chubb.
He can fly.
Yeah.
And what do we give him? 6'4", 265, maybe somewhere up in there. Big man, fly. What if he becomes a Lawrence Taylor? Maybe not the Lawrence Taylor, but what if he's the hands-down defensive player of the year? What if he leads the league in sacks? All of a sudden, that could propel that defense to heights unimaginable because Dan Quinn is back, and he was the assistant coach of the year last year in pro football. So, again, that they have bits and pieces around. I don't love him. I don't even love Trevon Diggs because he clues so much, he gambles so much that he's going to take the ball away and he's going to get it taken away from him. He's going to get burned.
Yes.
Okay, so my point to you is if Micah becomes a Lawrence Taylor type, you know and I know that can impact the whole football team where they start walking onto the field on Sunday afternoon, looking around saying, we got 11 and you don't, right? You've seen that happen before where there's one guy who's so good that you just can't block him. You can't stop him. You can't double him. You can't triple him. He's just going to create havoc. That's the only way. He's going to have to take it up a whole nother level that I believe is in him. I'm not sure it's in him in his second year in the league, but if he could achieve that sort of LT-like impact, he would give us a chance to get hot at the end and go places.
Well, here's the thing, and I like Michael Parsons, but Skip, T.J. Watt led the league in sacks last year, and they didn't come nowhere close. Aaron Donald has been the preeminent player. It comes down to two things. My thing that needs to happen, Jared needs to retire, effective immediately. He says, I'm ceasing. I'm not going to have any input in this thing, which you know isn't going to happen.
Not going to happen.
And you need Dak Prescott to be a top 5 quarterback. Because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Micah Parsons can have 25 sacks. Because if you think about what you just said, Skip, you had the number one offense in yards, number one in points, and your turnover margin. But when you needed your offense to be the best, they weren't. You remember against the Broncos, you said they were down 30-0. The Chiefs, you needed offense. The 49ers.
The Chiefs, you got 4 field goals.
You got 4 field goals. The 49ers in the divisional round of the play, it was wild card weekend.
Yeah.
What did you get? So in other words, he needs to be top 5. Jerry top first, Dak top 5, and you got a chance. Which one of those things is going to happen? Both of them need to happen, but which one?
Micah.
Well, I'm sorry, it ain't happening.
No.
Well, I guess y'all will be home again, 27 years in a row.
Well, we're going to be home for a playoff game. I know that because we are going to win.
I'll tell you where you won't be. You won't be in Phoenix with us. We're going to be in Arizona. Somewhere, Phoenix, Scottsdale, we're going to be in Arizona. They will not be there with us. How about that?
Micah Parsons is a difference maker.
Well, use your contacts to have him on the show. We'd love to have him on because he'll have some free time. He will not be practicing for the Super Bowl.
I just have a feeling we will have him on.
Exactly.
Yep.
Good stuff, guys. I certainly hope so, Skip. I'd enjoy that. All right, back to the NBA when we return. Which team has made the biggest addition this offseason? That's coming. He thinks Philly is an all-star team after their offseason of new acquisitions. Pro Football Focus agrees. They backed up the running backs take. They ranked the Eagles roster 7th overall, by far the highest out of any team in the NFC East. Skip, I hate to tell you, your Cowboys did not come in until 16. I know that probably doesn't shock you because you've been saying all offseason that the Eagles have been gaining ground on your Cowboys. Shannon, let's let you jump in here first. On a scale of 1 to 10, how big of a threat truly are the Eagles to Skip's Cowboys?
A 2. Skip, and I will concede this to you. They have a very nice roster. I like the A.J. Brown acquisition. I like pairing him with Devontae Smith. I like Dallas Goedert. I like the rebuilt offensive line that if they can stay healthy. Great, tremendous. Kelsey comes back. Lane Johnson, the left tackle, played tremendous last year. Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
Skip, I like what they have offensively. They built a nice roster, but you know it doesn't matter. Because Cleveland had a nice roster for years. And what is the most important position? Skip Bayless has beat me over my head for 6 years that, Shannon, if you don't have a quarterback, it does not matter how good or complete your roster is. And I think that is the deficiency of this Eagles football team. I think because the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, I don't care about the roster with the Eagles. And I do believe they have a roster that's better because I don't believe the Cowboys got better in free agency. I don't believe they got better in the draft. The Eagles got better in free agency with the pieces that they already had. So for me, it's still a 2 because of the quarterback position. The inability to consistently and accurately throw the football is something that Jalen Hurts doesn't possess quite yet. Not to say that he won't, but if you look at it, he got replaced. Think about the talent that he had in Alabama. He had 4 guys that got drafted in the first round. He had running backs that got drafted. He had an offensive line. Go back and look at the offensive linemen that blocked for Jalen Hurts. They were all in the first or second round draft picks, every single one of them. And he got replaced. Why? Because he had accuracy issues. And you look at his numbers, Jalen Hurts was 19th in QBR. Skip, and you said he was behind Tua. You got little to no respect for Tua. He was behind Kirk Cousins, first cousin. You got no respect for him. He was behind Jimmy G. He was behind Walk It to him. Let that sink in for a second. His QBR was behind guys that Skip Bayless have little to no respect from. He went 0-6 against playoff teams last year, and his QBR in those games, 55, slightly above average. A 10, that's way below average. 50, 0 to 100, that's how they measure QBR. 39, 46, 49, and 20. He had one game in which he was above average in QBR against playoff teams, but he went 0-6 in those ball games. His ability to throw the football down the field. 26 in completion percentage. The only 3 guys he was ahead of last year in completion percentage, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and the 3 rookies of qualifying throwers. I don't care nothing about that roster. If that guy is pulling the trigger, sorry for the reference, the guy that's throwing the football, if he's not consistent and accurate, I don't care. You could have Jerry Rice, you could have Rob Gronkowski, you could put whoever you want, put Randy Moss on the other side, whoever you want. You better give him somebody that can throw that football accurately and consistently.
I will open my remarks by quoting Pro Football Focus's capsule on the Eagles. Jalen Hurts showed real signs of progress in his second season out of Oklahoma last year as he finished the season ranked 14th of the 32 qualifying quarterbacks in overall Pro Football Focus grade. 14th of 32 is real progress. He did not play well against Tom Brady and company at Tampa in the playoff game. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They did make the playoffs with Jalen Hurts at quarterback last year.